Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the last parallel track for today's proceedings. This is stage two, and we're discussing a rather important theme, which is around women's security leadership development. So, this is being jointly hosted by JSCI, Target, and EWF. So, to do the honors, first let me invite Ms. Rama Vedashri, CEO, DSCI. Next, we have Ms. Brenda Berkey, Senior Director, Cybersecurity, Target. Next, let me welcome Ms. Linda Dolce-Moore, Director of Leadership Development, EWF. And this discussion would be moderated by Ms. Nidhi Agarwal, Director Engineering, Information Security, Target. And before I hand it over to Nidhi, let me quickly mention the title for this particular discussion. So the title of this session is Bolstering Cybersecurity Leadership Development, under which we are talking about three things: promoting diversity, honing skills, and optimizing workforce. Over to you, Nidhi.
Thank you, Aditya. Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope that you are having a wonderful session so far. And before I get into this session, I'm really excited, looking forward for this session for the today. Women around the world have been deeply affected and impacted by COVID-19 pandemic, which has heightened the inequalities that they see on day-to-day basis, both at work and at home. Women have faced enormous challenges in staying in their respective roles past year. If I were to talk about myself, my day-to-day life got impacted too. Juggling between different priorities, integrating work with home was extremely pressurizing. As a mother, I have to ensure I keep my kid engaged, make sure she has everything she needs to continue her online education. As a leader of the team, I have to keep my team engaged. We don't have face to face meetings anymore and those hallway conversations, but how to keep them motivated was something that I had to take care of. And to top it all, I have to do all the household work with literally no help. And we all have been going through this, and we all know the stress it puts under us. It's been pressurizing, it's been stressful. And one reason for that is the expectations from us didn't change. What changed was the environment in which we were operating. It was less conducive than what it was before. Women today are craving for development much more than ever. Providing development opportunities is one of the top priorities of organizations like Target. And today, I have with me EWF Executive Women Forum and DSCI leaders talking about certain programs that they bring forward for this community in India. Before I get started, I would request my esteemed panelists to introduce themselves. Prinda, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for having me today. My name is Brenda Bierke. I'm a senior director at Target, which is a large retailer based out of the US, but we also have headquarters in India. And so during the day, I lead the cyber risk function, which consists of policy, training awareness, and controls testing is kind of the simple way to say it. So all things compliance, vendor security, and general control testing as well as kind of the function and scope of my role. But I'm also involved with EWF, and I started as an individual member of EWF, and over time, Target did become a corporate benefactor, and I became the EWF champion, which means I help to engage other women within Target with EWF, as well as around the region and the nation, to help connect women, help us understand best practices, and just general networking. And then also Target works with DSCI. We have a D&I path within the DSCI conference, and we are here to talk about the December conference. And so I'm really excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Linda, do you want to go next?
Sure. So happy to be here with everyone. My name is Linda Dolce-Moore. I'm the Director of Leadership Development for the Executive Women's Forum. And it's my job to look across our community, which is a global community, and understand what are the specific leadership development challenges our women have, and then create programs that help to equip them with the skills to compete and advance in senior levels. So the Executive Women's Forum is the premier organization dedicated to building and retaining women leaders in information security, risk management, and privacy. And most importantly, we're a powerful sisterhood of women really striving to achieve common goals, and we're all committed to each other's success. The EWF has been in existence for 19 years, and we develop programs and events for women at every stage in their career. And we're so pleased to have Target as a benefactor and partner. And it was Target, as Brenda said, who introduced us to Rama and the wonderful industry body of DSEI. And together we have formed an alliance to address some of the leadership challenges women in India face. So I'm really excited to be here and excited to participate in this conversation, and also excited to bring a program forward that is valuable and relevant to some of the issues that women in India face from a leadership development perspective. Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. Rama?
Thank you, Nidhi. First of all, it's a great opportunity for DSEI team to be partnering with Target and DWF in this overall women in security and bringing a new program which will unveil more info on that as we go along. So I'm Rama Vedashri. I've been within the DSEI team for the last 5+ years, overall 35+ years in the technology industry. I continue to be passionate about this industry, which is truly an equal opportunity industry worldwide and in India. And right now, I think in cybersecurity particularly, we have a lot more to do in growing women leaders and in increasing the workforce in cyber and creating more opportunities for women to enter this challenging domain. And this program, Women in Security of DSEI, is all about that.
Thank you, Rama. Thank you, all of you. It makes me very proud and feel privileged to moderate this session where I have three experienced leaders across the globe coming together and talking about something that the entire cybersecurity community in India can benefit from. Now, uh, let's get to some questions that I have set up for you guys. Target EWF and DSCI have been working together to bring leadership development program to our community. So, Brenda, my first question would be for you. Why is it important for you and leadership, target leadership primarily?
Well, I wanted to start by saying team members are really important to Target, and we do have headquarters in both the US and India. And so we really are focused across the globe. And in fact, we have team members across the globe, not only those two places, but those are our headquarters. And as I've been working in cybersecurity for many years, I pay attention to what is the diversity mix within cybersecurity. In the United States, it's around 20-25%, depending on what report you're looking at. But worldwide, including India, it's only 11% women are represented. And to me, that's really an issue that I'd like to have an influence on. And, within that 11%, only 5% of women are within management. That, to me, is something that we can definitely change with leadership development. And so that's why it's really important on many levels. Like you said, Nidhi, women are juggling so many things, especially now. And it's just really important that other women help support each other. And so it's more important than ever for women to do that in an effective way. And so through Target becoming a EWF corporate benefactor for many years, Target working with DSEI for many years, we came together as key partners and just saw a clear opportunity to combine forces and develop this leadership opportunity for ladies within India as we go to DSEI in December. So we've connected. Linda has interviewed over 50 leaders, HR professionals, women in security to understand what is unique about women in India, and she has developed customized content that will be delivered at DSEI.
Thank you, Brenda. Identifying opportunities and then trying to make a difference really fuels us, right? And I can indeed vouch for it as a Target team member myself. Linda, Brenda touched upon the research that you have done and the numerous sessions that you have hosted, and I'm fortunate to be part of one of them as myself as well. My question to you would be, what are some early leadership themes or opportunities that you found to be common in these sessions?
So some of the recurring themes are around self-belief, what I believe to be true about myself, and having confidence about oneself. And also, I've repeatedly heard this concept of using one's voice to share ideas, to advocate for their ideas, and also sharing ideas and using voice in a way that a woman is being heard in the room. So, really wanting to be bold and courageous in a way that influences outcomes and also influences one's career, right? Taking control and being in the driver's seat of one's career. So, those are some of the repeated themes I've heard. Also, as has been mentioned earlier, the theme of work life integration and the transition between how I am at work versus, my role at home. So those are some of the recurring themes that I've heard across all the amazing women that I have had the great fortune to speak with in India.
Thank you, Linda. And with my experience, I completely believe in the fact that I think the themes would be similar across the globe, if not exactly the same. I think we all are juggling with similar problems at different levels, with different level of priorities and difficulties. So, thank you.
You're welcome. You are right. I mean, some of the things that I hear the exact same thing in the United States, Europe, and across the globe. So it's really interesting that many of us struggle with the same things. And that's why I think when Brenda said women coming together to support one another, to recognize that we are not alone in some of the challenges that we have, and then co-creating ways forward, which I think is just so powerful.
Definitely, definitely. Rama, you being leading such a big organization in India, why it is important to you and for DSCI to get involved in this initiative and partnering with Target and EWF?
That's a great question, Nidhi. Actually, my team and I hit upon this need for a special program on women in security slightly accidentally. I'll come to that in a little while. I mean, even if you look at the overall technology industry, the cybersecurity industry and the ecosystem is part of the overall industry. I think in IT sector particularly, I think the diversity and the gender gap, there is a lot of attention. There are diversity inclusion programs that are driven, and we now see women across the board, entry level, mid level, management across various functions, and also several women CEOs in India. We also see that in some other sectors like banking. So a few years back, when our team was deliberating on many of the conferences that we host, the participation of women, both as delegates and speakers, was very low. And whenever we used to do a CISO meet, it was very low. We really didn't despair about that. Of course, it was a reason to, not so feel not so great about it. But we said, what can we do about it? So I think when I took over DSCI and I would come to this annual Information Security Summit or go for any, CISO briefing meetings or in Mumbai or in Bangalore, there would hardly be any women CISO in the room. Whereas I think the important thing is what can we do as industry ecosystem players, because no one single entity can solve the problem. Is are we moving the needle year on year, quarter on quarter? Now, when we see the CISO members, women CISOs among DSCI's membership, I see many across banking, oil and gas, of course, ITS, technology industry. So that's a great thing. So for us, the thing about women in security spans across various stages of somebody's career. We are focused on entry level, mid level, but we are now trying to bring a special program for women leaders in cyber in partnership with Target and EWF. Because I think an overall grooming or nurturing women to become technology leaders or business leaders, there are a lot of such management development programs, but cybersecurity leadership requires a separate track, and we are trying to see how can we add value to that, not only to ones who have already become CISOs, but there are many, team members of current CISOs who may not be women leaders. What can we do to grow them and make them aspire to become that leader. Finally, of course, they'll get it on merit and they will not get it because they're a woman. But at least if this leadership program will give them confidence to aspire to put up their hand when there is a CISO opening in their company, I think we would have done our job.
Thank you, Rama. I think to all the leaders listening to this session and all the leaders here, it takes us back to our journeys when we started, being probably the single and the only woman on the table whereas the rest of them were men. And we have come a long way. I mean, there's a huge difference. I mean, in my short career of like 15 years, I have seen the difference, but we have a long way to go. And it's very encouraging to see organizations recognizing that this is an opportunity and then coming together to solve it. Not that I'll do it on my own. They're just getting together with who all are the other players who can come together and make this as a bigger movement, I would call it, rather than a program, and make a difference to the entire community. So thank you so much. We touched upon limiting belief and confidence as a common opportunity. Both Linda, Rama, and Brenda, all of you talked about it. And so, Rama, this is question to all of you actually. What is your perspective on this common limiting belief or having low in self-confidence? Or as Rama said, you should raise hand. At least you should know that you can raise hand when there is an opportunity. What are your perspectives on this? And second, what is that one advice which you would give to all our attendees here today? So anyone can take it first.
Well, I'm happy to start because
Sure.
as a leadership coach and consultant, this is a lot of the work that I do is helping to create awarenesses for women, with what is going on internally, because all change starts internally. So really first it's to have awareness of that inner voice that speaks to our limitations, or maybe tells us we're an imposter, or we don't belong at the table, or maybe we don't have the qualifications for that next level. And then really recognizing that we are the creator of that voice, that inner voice, and we have the opportunity to change the tune or the repetitive words so that we speak power to ourselves versus fears. We all have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are the same thoughts that we have had yesterday. So many of us ruminate the same thoughts over and over again. So first, it's to have awareness of that voice and what those thoughts are that we keep having. And then the goal really is to move our inner critic to be our inner champion, so that we all set the stage to perform at our best, do good work, achieve, things that maybe we didn't think were possible, and, really lead fulfilling lives at work and at home. So that's what comes up for me here, and what I coach many women around the globe around. First, awareness of that voice, then recognize you're the person creating those thoughts, and then figuring out how to change those thoughts. It sounds easy. It is not a small task, because we all have those repetitive thoughts over and over again. But we all have the power to make positive change in our life, and it all begins with what we tell ourselves internally.
And then I would add to that to say women supporting women can help to influence that and move along the progress. So one of the programs I'm involved in through Executive Women's Forum is something called LIFT. And it's a mentoring program where you fill out a profile of all your experiences, your strengths, what you would like to enjoy working on, and the mentee fills out similar. And then they have a matching system within EWF. And so I've gone through EWF and I've had 10 different mentees over time. And of course, I also mentor outside of EWF. It's just really important to me that we connect and support each other. EWF also does have training on their platform for master mentoring, and so that's a certification you can achieve. But the thing I would call out is, as we're highlighting confidence and perhaps limited beliefs, everybody has different goals and different aspirations. And so what's really important, in my view, is to say, what do you enjoy doing? And have that awareness. And also don't think about what you want to achieve, but why you want to achieve that. Because maybe the role that you want in the future doesn't even exist today. And so if you can find those characteristics, that's what's more important. And also understand, what are you really good at, and soar with that. how can you make those things that you're really good at even better? And so that's what I like to work on with when I'm in a mentoring relationship. And the other opportunity I would call out, as I've been working with lots of different women, is that there's really a need to be aware of how others view you. And so what I would offer is don't shy away from feedback. It's really, truly a gift. It doesn't mean it's a gift you have to accept. You don't have to agree with it, but you want to hear it and understand what it is. And so my recommendation would be, upon identifying all of that information, see what you can do to make just a 3 to 5% little tweak and change in your behavior, and it'll make a really big difference. And so while the traits might be confidence, it might be limited beliefs, either way, you can build out a plan, and you can do it with someone who is, your champion and wants to support you in that.
Thank you, Brenda. Rama?
So partly, I would say the problem is maybe I second the thoughts of both Linda and Brenda. Partly, the problem could be the confidence and of the woman, but it's also a big function of the organizational milieu and the leadership culture and style. It's a combination of the two which actually hampers a lot of opportunities for women. What I would say is that I think the important thing for any woman leader to grow is be willing to take on responsibilities which probably a new role which is not clearly defined. In my last so many years, I've always seen my peers or even team members who are women leaders shying away from taking on a new role which is not a well defined or a structured role, or not willing to take on a role where you probably move into a large team management role to sometime a totally new role in an organization, which could be a new growth area or a new strategic division. Because it means transitioning from a large team, large division, business unit to often an individual contributor role where the first 6 to 12 months you don't even know what the expectations of that role is. You define the role. I think my only input would be is if women are more open to take on new roles that come in the organization, which initially may seem like not growth in your career, but once those kind of roles will actually give you a more 360-degree view of how to grow your leadership traits, how to work in an ambiguous situation, drive a new charter. And another thing I would say, particularly in the cybersecurity domain, while it is a lot of internal, technical, and team management, this role also involves external stakeholder management. So that's one area I think some nurturing and mentoring and role models are important, because traditionally women professionals have shied away from roles which require a lot of external stakeholder management. In cybersecurity, as you carve out a path of becoming a CISO, there would be the need to engage with the ecosystem. So I would say these two things are critical. And Nidhi, I have actually seen whenever there are role models. I don't know if you know, 10, 15 years back, there was no banking sector CEO. So once a banking sector woman CEO came up in India, we suddenly saw so many banks and women CEOs. Same thing happened in the technology sector. Now, if you see year on year, the number of women CISOs in India, and now if you take account, even a power utility has a woman CISO, which we haven't seen, 5, 10 years back. So I think we need these role models. So the moment when you see a woman leader in a critical sector, many other women leaders will feel, inspired and also start feeling confident. If this lady can take on this role of a CISO of a large bank, probably I can also do that. I think we need role models too.
That's very inspirational. I just became speechless for a second. That's worth advice that we all got in 1 minute. But before going to my next question, I would just want to summarize this for my audience here. So the key takeaways for me is lead a fulfilling life. That's what Linda covered. Come out of your apprehensions and try to do what you want to do. Where Brenda talked about identify why you want to do what you want to do and welcome feedback. It's a gift that you may not take it if you don't want it. I really love that sentence. And last but not the least, Rama mentioned two things which are very, very important. It's get out of the comfort zone, try to do something new. As there is a saying I heard some long time ago, somebody told me, if there is no chair at the table, get a chair for yourself. So I think that's what it is all about. I mean, if you don't see there is a, some no there is another a woman there who can be your role model, try to become a role model for others. Thank you so much for such great pieces of advice that you gave. Moving on to my next question, we were so far we were talking about community, right? How we can help the cybersecurity professional communities outside. My next question is more taking a step back and asking you all is how do we how a leader in a best way support another leader, or to put it, how does peer to peer support works? Brenda?
Yeah, sure. So I would say having those connections with your team, with colleagues and peers, with external partners is all really important. And we can support each other through all those venues. But to connect, to learn, and to grow, implementing best practices are really just opportunities that you don't want to like not take advantage of. So I'll tell a couple of stories. And you'll just see opportunities in your day-to-day interactions if you're paying attention. So I will tell you, one year I was flying to a conference, the EWF conference, in fact, with a group of women all from Target. And we were standing around waiting for our airplane to let us board and take off. Well, as I was talking to everybody, I suddenly came to the realization that I was the only one who knew everybody. The other women who also worked at Target did not know each other. And so that was just like a flag to me to say, you know what? Yeah, we want to support each other through external mentoring and through EWF and through all these different avenues, but we should look right inside our own company as well. And so we have built a community of cybersecurity women within Target to support each other as well, which is really fantastic. The other thing I would say is, earlier I talked about, we have a headquarters in the US, but we also have headquarters in India. And through that, our team members and women in cyber, we really now work to support each other, and we get to know each other and who we are and what we're working on. But as I was working more and more in the India headquarters and with women in cybersecurity in India, I noticed that we lacked an opportunity to reach out and connect with other women in cyber within India. And so, we really wanted to take that opportunity to, why aren't we learning from other women in India? Because certainly there's going to be gold mine of information. And so back in 2018, we held our very first regional event for EWF in a hotel conference room, and women came. And it was fantastic. And from there, we've just, continued to grow and create momentum for EWF and the connection of women in the community. And that's kind of where we have led to where we are today.
Yes, definitely. And I've been fortunate enough to be part of every step in this. Rama, would you want to add anything to it?
Actually, even Brenda, our first Women in Security roundtable or a workshop, as you call it, was done in partnership with Target in a best practices meet in a hotel in Bangalore. And then, of course, we hosted a bigger one in your Target campus in Bangalore. So, where I would say peer-to-peer mentoring, really, not only just mentoring, just peer-to-peer engagements and networking helps because we learn from each other, right? Sometimes every leader has a problem. It could be taking on a new role or going on a short-term assignment for 6 months and making home and work priorities happen. I think just talking to another peer, it need not necessarily be from the company, from some other company also. Talking to another peer or another senior industry member always opens up your eyes on how did they address this problem and gives you some hand holding. And it's also not just among women leaders. We are beginning to see a lot of leaders who are willing to give that time to mentor some of their younger women team members so that they can grow in their careers. So overall, what I would say is any peer-to-peer collaboration, more often outside the company when you talk, I think people's ideas open up, and sometimes what you see as a mega problem in your career move may actually look like a very minuscule problem because somebody else has addressed it in a way, and you'll have an opportunity to think through it with a fresh lens, right? So I would say it's extremely important, but also some bodies like DSCI, other industry forums, which can bring people together, because often you don't know who those other peers, even in your own city, are. Or all you know, Nidhi doesn't know some campus opposite Target campus in Bangalore. Is there somebody I can connect? So there should be some forums which facilitate bringing people together, of course, within the company and outside the company.
Thank you, Rama. Linda, would you want to add anything? Have any different
Yeah, the only thing I would add is there is so much power in sharing and in community. And I think there are so many places we can find community. Just the listening sessions that I did, sometimes there were groups of 8 or 10 women. And I think just the sharing of the obstacles or the challenges that maybe get in their way connected these women together. So I just think wherever we can find community, one of the deepest needs all humans have is to connect with others. And I think this concept of community, whether it's the EWF, your peers at Target, DSEI, wherever you can find those opportunities to connect, share, grow, learn from what someone else has done, and co-create ways forward are always just invaluable.
Thank you. Thank you. I would just want to share one of my experiences. I heard what Brenda said. We talk about communities, we talk about going over and beyond our organization, but yes, it takes a while to even identify that we have to know people who work with us, who are around us in day-to-day lives. When 5 years ago, when my leader asked me to create a group of security women in India, and we proudly call it Swati, which is Security Women at Target in India, I was a new person, new joiner in Target, and there were 25 women, and I didn't know anybody. But I had to create a group. I had to get this group doing something, and for that, I had to know them. And I talked to my leader, and I said, "You know what? I don't know anybody." So he's like, "Go take them for a coffee." And 25 coffees seemed to be a too big a task for me at that point of time, but it was needed, and I had to come up with something very different. So we tried to do this something called inner spaces. So what I did is we made one woman once a month chief guest. Rest all of us will sit around her, and we just get to know her. We don't talk about work, we just talk about her. She's the center of attraction. So we get to know her learnings, her mistakes, her areas of opportunities, her strengths. And that's how we have built a very strong community. And Rama had worked with Swati, so as you both of you have also done it. So Target in India leads the security women group through this community only. And yes, we started by knowing ourselves first, and then going and extending our hands and joining hands with EWF and DSCI. Thank you. Um, when I started this session, we talked about a program, and I'm sure my audience will be waiting to hear more about it. So, first, it's exciting to see the collaboration between all three organizations, and I know you have been doing a lot of background work to make this possible. Now, my question to all of you is, what can we expect from this leadership program? And very, very important, what are the plans for December?
Well, I can start with that. So first of all, I want to express much gratitude to Rama and DSEI and Linda and EWF for coming together and really working to deliver such an exciting program coming in December at DSEI. So really, we'll have a deep focus on leadership development, customized just for this audience, and I'm so excited about it. The other thing I'm really excited about is how we'll be kicking off the event. And what we'll be doing is I, of course, have a current EWF Lift mentor. Her name is Sneha. And we will be doing a joint presentation to kick off the event. And the reason we're doing that is because one of the things that she really wanted to work on is presentation skills. And so we are working from now until then on presentation skills. And we are excited to have just a fabulous kickoff for our big, important DSCI event. So I want to highlight that. I'm really excited about it. So Linda, do you want to tell more about the program that you've been doing so much research on?
Sure. So that's exciting, Brenda, and I love that that it's experiential and that it's working towards something. And I think that what I'm creating in the 2-hour program that we'll do in December, it will also be experiential, right? So it's not just learning new concepts; it's figuring out how to experiment with them and actually have the opportunity to use some of them. So I'm creating a 2-hour program tailored to all the themes and the listening sessions we've done with the women in India. And some of the outcomes and results that I'm looking for is to really elevate all the participants' awareness of those internal confidence hacks and show them how to restore and raise their confidence to make positive life changes and to really take some bold steps in whatever it is that they want to achieve in their career. So, as I mentioned earlier, the program is going to focus on minimizing the fears, the inner thoughts that maybe undermine some of the things that we do and amplify the voice to speak to greatness. It's also going to have a component of being intentional about how the participants use their voice to advocate for themselves, their ideas, drive positive change for themselves, their work, and their company. So I'm really excited about the possibilities. I'm excited for the opportunity. And I have been so honored in all these listening sessions at the candor with which women share. So I'm really excited to take all that and to put it into a learning framework for all the women who participate to thrive.
Thank you, Linda. Rama?
Yes, we had actually, DSCI team had already hosted first a session with several leaders, both HR, CISOs, which included men and women. Some of them were also women leaders, founders of startups. It was a good cross section. We hosted a workshop first along with Brenda and Linda and both the Target, EWF and DSCI teams. And post that, it's not like we are baking a program sitting in our offices. We had listening sessions where I think Linda and team connected with more than 50 leaders to understand what are the key challenges that needs to be addressed in growing women leaders. So the program will be launching at our flagship event, which is the next edition of Annual Information Security Summit, where we do hope that several women leaders will join and several organizations will nominate their mid-level women leaders to undergo this program. It's not just a one-off program. We hope to be partnering with EWF and Target so that we can bring a series of programs. And we'll be announcing the program to all our members and the entire community.
Thank you, Rama. Before I close, is there anything else that you would want to cover that I could not cover in my questions? Any experience during this information collection that you want to share, or anything that makes us more interesting, that makes this program even more exciting for you? Because I just see the passion behind it that all three of you have put in. Just wanted to know how your experience have been so far while doing this together.
Well, for me, it's been an honor. I adore Brenda. I adore everyone. I see the uniqueness in everyone, and it's my goal to understand what the strengths are of each person who I get the opportunity to meet and who attend any of my programs, so that we can bring that forward so that they can be their best self. And that's really what I see my job as the Director of Leadership Development. But so honored to have had the opportunity to meet some of these fabulous women, hear what their obstacles are, and then for me to figure out a way to create skills and learnings for them to be able to move beyond them and achieve great things. So I feel very blessed and fortunate to be with all of you today and to have the opportunity in December.
Thank you.
I guess one thing I would say in terms of the observations I've had in the interviews is that there's definitely a theme around, there's just a need to have some courage and transparency to kind of move to the next level. We are all like deep subject matter experts. We can execute, we can get results, or we wouldn't be in the jobs that we're in today. And to take it to the next level, we need to figure out how to collaborate, build effective teams, stakeholder management, driving engagement, having a strategic mindset, all of these other things that are very big and, you influence, you can't necessarily control. And so raising your hand and say, those are the things I'd like to develop. It takes courage to say that, but it's important that you do so because your leaders do want to support you and they have to understand where you want to go. And so I think that this program will help you to not only build those skills, but also build up the courage to raise your hand and say, I want to go over there.
Rama, do you have anything that you want to add?
I think, first of all, it's a great opportunity for us to bring a global program which has been successful in other geographies into India, and that too a leadership development program which is specific to cyber women leaders. I think it's a great opportunity. I think based on the first program, I'm sure there'll be more learnings and takeaways for us. And when we craft the series of programs, I would like to reassure that we'll work with the EWF team so that learnings from the first program are baked into as we build a series of programs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We all know that cybersecurity is a team sport in all aspects, and the impact of industry partnership and mentoring have proven to be very, very powerful. Together, we all can foster the growth of communities in cyber professionals and encourage each other for a better industry which is much more advanced. Having a strong network of mentors has definitely helped me in my career, and I want all the attendees listening to us today to get benefited by such programs. And we just talked about one such program that is about to come live very soon. And as DSCI, EWF, and Target comes together to build such program that is specifically catering to the needs of the cybersecurity professional community in India, I would encourage all of you to participate in it in all different roles and capacities for yourselves, your friends, families, your team members, and just take the maximum benefit out of it so that at first we can be much more confident in what we do, and second, most importantly, we help or we play our roles in shrinking the talent gap that we have in the cybersecurity domain. With that, I would give a very big thank you to all my panelists for being here, sharing their thoughts, and working and collaborating together for the benefit of the entire community. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Brinda. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Rama.
Thank you,
Thank
Nidhi.
you.
Thank you.